With Luke Burbank, we head to California and back to the future.
It was a sunny day this past spring at the Palm Springs Art Museum, and the locals had turned out to welcome a new resident.
For once in my life, well, let my heart be, baby.
Or maybe new residents would be more accurate, because this feature of the art museum's permanent collection is actually a house that's been on a nearly 100-year journey to get here. Built in 10 days by architects Albert Frey and Lawrence Kocher, the Aluminaire House, as they called it, debuted at New York's Architectural and Allied Arts Exposition of 1931. This must have looked like a spaceship landed.
Yeah, well, it was amazing. Really remained unlike anything else.
The big idea behind Aluminaire was to show you could build a house cheaply using prefabricated materials designed for the way people actually lived, with fewer walls, more attention to shared areas, and a blending of indoor and outdoor spaces.
It was an amazingly important moment for American architecture.
But as architect Francis Campani will tell you, like a lot of avant-garde ideas, Aluminaire House never quite caught on. In fact, there was just that one prototype, which ended up being sold for someone to use as a weekend home. Undeterred, designer Albert Frey decided to go west to Palm Springs, California.
What attracted him to this place was the idea of a blank canvas. The desert was a place that actually he could experiment with new forms of architecture.
Adam Lerner is the executive director of the Palm Springs Art Museum, which houses the largest collection of Albert Frey's work, including his private home, the stunning and austere Frey House 2.
He's a local hero. He's the Kurt Cobain equivalent for Seattle, or what Andy Warhol was to downtown New York. He's Palm Springs' greatest achiever.
But as Albert Frey was becoming the father of Palm Springs architecture, designing many buildings, including City Hall and this gas station, which is now a welcome center, back in New York State, his first big project, Aluminaire House, had fallen into disrepair and eventually into the hands of Francis Campani and her partner, architecture professor Michael Schwarting, in 1987.
It's amazingly designed by Albert Frey, which we discovered partly in the process of taking it apart and putting it back together.
Schwarting and Campani used it as a learning tool for architecture students, but by 2012, Aluminaire was homeless again, disassembled, packed into a trailer, and put in storage. A constant worry for Campani wherever she happened to be.
It was February, and the ice was on the plane, and they de-iced it 3 times. And I thought, we're going to be killed. And no one's going to pay the bill for the storage. And the people at the storage yard are going to say, what's this pile of aluminum? And they're just going to throw it away.
Thankfully, that didn't happen. What did, though, was the seed of an idea. What if they brought Aluminaire House out to the city its creator, Albert Frey, loved so much? Enter architect and preservationist Leo Marmol.
The vertical structure is aluminum, the horizontal structure, floors and a roof, is steel. All of that is original. So the entire structure is from 1931.
There were, of course, modifications that had to be made, like adding a cooling system so the house didn't melt in the Palm Springs heat. And as of right now, only the outside of the home is open for viewing. But still, here it is, Albert Frey's vision of a different way to live. Are you relieved that this thing is here? Can you sleep better at night?
Yes, yes. For a long time we were in limbo. We didn't know where we were going. So we're very, very relieved.
Sure, Aluminaire House might have failed in terms of never being mass-produced, but Leo Marmol says it succeeded at something else very important, getting people to rethink the idea of residential architecture, something it's still doing to this day.
This is about continuing the very significant conversation around modernism here in Palm Springs.